Hey everyone, Mr. Great3S here, and I'm back with another video. Excuse my voice and excuse the ride height. I have been getting over a little cold, so I apologize for any weird voice changes throughout the video. Now, in today's video, we are going to be installing door speakers. Now, if you watch my last video, I actually installed dash speakers. They were also JBL, and they crazy increase the sound quality. And now that the sound quality is so good in the dash, the doors are kind of lacking with the OEM speakers, especially the rear doors. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to replace the front and rear door speakers. I'm going to be using these ones for the front and these ones for the rear. Now, I will be linking everything in the description. Now, these are from Amazon, and I'll be linking this custom bracket that I'm using with them. It's from this audio company. It'll be in the description. And then these are from Crutchfield. And if you guys don't know Crutchfield, they are a crazy good website for ordering anything that's speaker, car audio, even some boat and home audio stuff. You can get it from Crutchfield. So that's where these are from. And these are super cool because they also come with a custom bracket and the plug and play wiring harness for free. And they have amazing instructions. So I'll be kind of showing you guys how to take off your door panels, but I'll also link the PDF in the description where Crutchfield shows you exactly like step by step how to do it. I'm gonna point it out. It's actually pretty easy. I'm getting pretty good at it now because I've taken them off a few times. So yeah, in this video, I'll be showing you how to install these. Now, one other thing that I'm gonna be installing at the same time is this one's called Killmat. It's a really popular brand, but it's actually sound deadening. So you might be able to see I have some pieces cut out already. That's because I've already done this whole side of the car, the speakers and the sound deadening, just so I can kind of play with it a little bit, make sure everything's good, so I can make the best possible video for you guys. So I'm gonna be installing this at the same time. It's pretty straightforward. It's actually what you call a butyl tape. So it's kind of like this thick, sticky tape, and you stick it onto the inside of your door panel. And then with these tools, as always, like I said, everything will be linked in the description. There's different sizes for different compartment areas, but all you do is you roll it down to get it nice and flat and stuck to the surface, and then you have really increased speaker quality because there's less vibration, there's less hollowness back there, your doors feel heavier and shut nicer, and there's less road noise in the inside. Now, this is something you can do even when not installing speakers, but you do have to take off your door panels. So I just figured might as well kill two birds with one stone and do both of these. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but my car is a little bit filthy. Don't worry, I'm cleaning it later today because I'm taking it to a meet tomorrow morning. But I went ahead and turned her around because I already did the other side, and we can get some nice lighting onto this. But first step, we're gonna start with the front doors. And to take these front door panels off, there's gonna be a few screws. You're gonna get a screw there. You're gonna pop this panel off, and there's gonna be two screws there. You're gonna pop the inside panel of that off, and there's gonna be one screw. And then you're gonna pry this whole control section off, and there's going to be one plug under there. And now, speaking of plugs, you're gonna also pop this guy out from right here, and there's gonna be one plug there. And then from there, all you're gonna do is give it a firm pull. All these clips around the bottom are gonna pop out, and then there's kind of like a shelf here, and you're just gonna pull it off the shelf. And from there, I can show you what it's gonna look like once it's off, but there's two little wires that, I call them wires, but they're really just like metal cords that connect the inside door handle to the latch, and you just pop those off and the whole door panel is loose. That might sound a little overwhelming, but it really isn't as bad as it seems. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's off, and I'll also, of course, leave that PDF instruction in the description. Okay, let me put in 0.5, all the clips are off, so it's just kind of dangling like this. You can grab it from here and pull up. And pull up here. Okay, so it's up, I'm holding with my leg, and the whole thing comes off. So there's going to be a plug there that you want to just unplug. Then these are the two connectors that you for the door latch that you want to unplug. All you're going to do is pop the green and the white little cone looking thing out of the plastic and pull the little ball out of its spot. It sounds confusing maybe, but you'll see exactly what I mean when you're doing yours. So this is what we're left with. It's just a blank door with no panel, and these are the two guys that you pulled off. Be careful because there is grease on them, so it'll get all over you. Holding in the speaker right here is one connection that you just pull off, and then you have four 10mm screws. And then once you pop them off, the speaker's gonna kind of be stuck to it. Not really, it's just because it's never come off. It has this little layer that wants to keep it attached to the car. So all you're gonna do is put a little pry tool behind it, and then you pop it off. And what I'm gonna do is also pull back some of this, which is also butyl tape, similar to the sound dampening, but you pull it back, and I'm going to be able to get some sound dampening all inside of there, and then also when the speaker's off, I'm gonna be able to reach into the speaker hole and get some sound dampening in there. And I'll show you what I mean. And this is all reattachable either by pushing with your hand, or you can actually even use that tool I was showing you for the sound dampening and roll it all back onto there. All right, speaker is coming off, sticky, and it should just come right out. Yeah, and it has this little like tab on the top and bottom, so don't pull straight up, but kind of pull it out like that. And you can see, actually, there's already, I think there's also one at the top. You can't really see that one, but there's 2 little squares of sound dampening in there. Doesn't really do too much, so I'm gonna lay sheets on the entirety of this inner panel there. But this is the OEM speaker, and we'll get right back to the speaker spot in just a sec when I lay the sound dampening. Okay, if you're gonna be doing this sound deadening as well, watch out, because there's a lot of sharp edges on the tinfoil of the sound deadening and then also inside these doors. But this is what it kind of looks like right here. I've got it going all inside, all kind of everywhere I could reach. And it's crazy. I mean, I don't know if there's a good way to show, but you might be able to hear it. It's like very solid. It sounds like you're not knocking on something hollow like this. So you might be able to tell just from that. But this is the butyl tape. It's just like sticky, gooey tape. And it looks like it's going to stick to you, but it really doesn't unless you really mess with it. So I'm going to use one of these guys to roll it all back on and just get this like clear sheet back onto here. And we'll continue with the speaker. Now, this is what the bracket for the front speaker looks like. It's from Sounds Good Stereo, and it's converting this 8-inch speaker to a 6.5-inch, which is what I'm also going to be putting on the rear. It looks like this. It's very, oop, there you go. Very high quality, super dense, and it's it's pretty nice. And they'll also come with these screws, but you'll only need to use these little black ones. So what you're going to do is take this speaker, line it up to here, and you're going to just mark where you want to screw in, and you're going to screw right in. You can use a drill. I'm actually just using a hand screwdriver because this stuff is sturdy enough, but also soft enough to just drill or drive a screw into there. And the screws that come with them are kind of like a self-tapping, so they're pretty easy to get in there. This is what the speaker looks like. It has this little bracket back here. You won't need this, and then it comes like this. This little grill on there just comes right off. We won't need that because we have our own speaker grill. It's built into the door panel. This would be if you're using it on something that doesn't have a speaker grill. So pretty much all you're gonna do is line up these 4 screw points onto here, mark your spots, and screw it in. And then after that, these 4 holes are going to be using your OEM hardware and just mounting right up to there. Using my screwdriver and one of these screws, I have my 4 holes marked. I kind of drove the screw in a little bit, so it's super easy to screw it in when the speaker's on there. And it also comes with tape, so I'm just going to stick this tape around here so it has a nice seal to it. And don't be afraid to kind of cover the screw hole, because you can just screw through the tape a little bit, but this will make a nice sound tight finish, and it'll seat the speaker really nicely. All right, the tape is on there. You just tear it off whenever you're finished, and I left a little bit of the screw hole exposed so you can kind of see where it is, and then I'm just going to screw that speaker in. Okay, so like I mentioned, I ordered these from Amazon, and then I also ordered the plug-and-play connector from Amazon for these, and the rear ones that I got are all from Crutchfield, and they included their own connector. Unfortunately, the connector I got from Amazon for these front ones aren't correct, so I will link the connector from Crutchfield. So pretty much the connectors I'll be using in the rear from Crutchfield, just get 4 of those and use them all around, because all the door speaker connectors are the same, and I just accidentally ordered the wrong ones for the front. So instead, what I'm going to be doing is taking my connector, splicing it into this, and then using the prongs to just plug right into the positive and negative. Not a terrible solution at all. It's totally fine. It's just the plug and play connector is much easier. So don't worry, I'll link it in the description. I just wanted to put that out there. So anyways, from here, I'm going to splice it, but you guys just connect your connector in and then plug it into the speaker. In the back right there, positive and negative are actually labeled, but positive is always going to be the thicker terminal. And then you just use your screws and you screw it right in, and you have your new speaker. Okay, I spliced them and connected them. I tucked it back behind there, just clamping the red and black wire down a little bit, so it's back all behind there, nothing out here. And I just put these top 2 bolts on, not the bottom, just to kind of hold it on so I can turn on some music and test it. And once I test it and everything's okay, then I'm just gonna put the other 2 back on and tighten everything down, and we're done with the fronts. Okay, after some testing, it is really good. It sounds amazing. So I put all the screws back into it, and it's done. This is how you upgrade your front door speaker. Just put your door panel back on in the reverse process. Make sure to plug this guy in and feed this guy to come through where the switch area for your windows comes through. But other than that, oh yeah, also don't forget to connect these because that's annoying having to take everything back off just for those. But once we do that, I'm just gonna move to the rear door, which is actually easier. Okay, rear door is, like I said, easier. You just pop off the inner panel there, you pop off there, and you pry this whole switch off with the little plug in the back, just like the front door. There's also a screw there, and then other than that, that's it. There's no little light at the bottom and nothing else. And it's actually, this one's a little bit easier in the fact that it doesn't sit on there like on a lip on a shelf. It just has clips here. So all you do is pull it straight out, and when you go to put the panel back in, you just line it up here and you push it in. So there's no sliding it in perfectly or anything like that. You just pop it off and pop it back in. All right, this is how it looks with the panel off. You have the two little wires for the door handle. You have the plug for your window switch, and then there's a speaker. This speaker is where is it? There you go, 10 millimeters, and also the same type of plug. And this one is gonna be very similar to the fronts. It's just a bracket and a speaker. So for the rears, I'm using the JBL Club series speaker, which, if you might notice, if you've seen my previous video for the dash speakers, looks pretty much identical to the dash speakers. So it has the same looking cone in the middle, the same branding, and it's just bigger. It's 6.5 inches instead of 3.5. So this is the bracket we're gonna be using. It comes with these speakers for free, actually, so it's kind of crazy. And then there's also a plug and play connector that comes for free. So I'll have that in the description. And the connector I'm going to be using on the rear is the connector that you should also use on the front, because there's no need for splicing. It's just straight up plug and play. So this you're going to lay onto here, and you're going to line up the holes right there, and you're just going to screw it in with the provided hardware. You're just going to use any of these black screws, and it's pretty simple. So I'm going to remove this one right here, throw some sound deadening in there, and we'll install the new speaker in there. All right, I got the sound deadening all installed. It is really in there. The door sounds so solid. I love it. Now I'm about to screw this speaker into the bracket with these little holes and the smaller screws, but don't forget to use the little foam tape and put it around here just like you did with the front ones. All right, and here's the connector that comes with the speaker, and here's the speaker all installed into the bracket, nicely squished down on the foam tape. So all you're going to do is flip the speaker over and take the positive and push it into the positive terminal, take the negative, push it into a negative terminal, and then you're going to come here to your OEM connector, and it just connects right in. So once you do that, you can just screw the speaker back in and we're good. All right, I have it all plugged up. I left the connector out like this and tucked the wires in here. Now there are multiple little tabs that go all around this bracket. You just use kind of the thicker one of all of them. You can kind of tell, and it lines right up perfectly. Now, before you get everything situated, I do recommend just turn on your speakers, testing it, making sure it works. And if it does, we are done. All right, I tested it out with some Deftones, of course, and we're good to put the door panel back on. Just a little reminder, don't forget to stick those guys back in, thread that one kind of through the little handle spot where the window switch controls are, and good to go. All right, door panel is back on. It's that simple. A little trick for the rear door panel. It happened on the passenger side for me, but not on the driver. But this little weather stripping here, it attaches to the actual door panel with clips. So if it comes off with the door panel, the easiest way to put the door panel back on is to pop it off of the door panel, like loosen the clips, take it off, slide the weather stripping onto here, and then you pop the door panel back onto it. It already came off and stayed on the car while my door panel came off on the passenger side, but for the driver's side, it came off with the door panel, and it was a pain to try and get it back onto the door, attached to the door panel. So remove this weather stripping from the door panel, hook it onto the door, and then put the door panel back on. But yeah, we're good. Everything's latched up. This is back in, and yeah, we have upgraded speakers now. So overall, not a crazy hard install. If you've never taken off your door panels, it'll probably just take a moment, but I've only ever taken off my door panels once before, and this time it was like 10 times easier. And the first time it was still pretty easy. So you guys got it, not too difficult. If you have any questions at all about anything I did, leave it in the comments or DM me on Instagram at gray_3is. I'm always on there. Ask me anything, send me anything, chat it up. I'd love it. I just hit 14,000 followers on Instagram, actually, so it's crazy. And we're approaching 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for your support. Now, we have dash speakers that are upgraded. We have door speakers that I upgraded, front and rear. I kind of noticed the fronts are more of like a supporting speaker. They don't put vocals too clearly through them, unlike the rear door speakers, which actually kind of function like real speakers. They have voices, they have highs, they have lows, they have everything. The fronts are kind of like a bassy supporting surround sound speaker. So I was like, wait, is that just the speaker I choose? I did something wrong, but I compared it to the stock one on the other door, and it's just like that. So that's a little tip. If you guys are installing, you're like, why is this front one kind of sounding like dull? It's just because that's what the front speaker is like. I've upgraded all the speakers. The only ones left would be the stock sub. I kind of like the stock sub as is. If you didn't know, I used to have two 12-inch subs in my trunk, and I just never really ran them. I never turned them on much because I kind of just like the stock sub, and I don't know, as I gotten older, I just like didn't want too much bass, just enough bass to support the music I was listening to. So I probably won't change out my stock sub or put any more subs in my car at all. But I'm really enjoying how they sound so far. I'm excited to drive it around a little bit with the sound deadening. Now that I have the sound deadening and the upgraded speakers all around, it's gonna sound crazy. I'm very excited. I'm gonna go for a little drive here in a little bit, but I'm gonna leave you guys off here. Again, if you guys have any questions at all, leave it in the comments. If you're interested in any of these products, they'll be linked in the description. But other than that, this has been Mr. Gray 3IS. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Walking on